Hello guys, now we'll be discussing about top 5 interview questions which will help you to crack the interview. If you are looking for a financial analyst position, I would say please consider this 5 questions. You may expect questions on the important markets, regulators, financial products, and we have committed to you. So we'll run this series with the top 5 questions in every sessions with answers, and which will help you to get the idea on answer patterns or answer part as well. So without taking much time, we'll directly start to the questions and answer session. So here we'll discuss top 5 questions. So first question, you may expect like distinguish between primary market and secondary market, or maybe what is the difference between primary market and secondary market, or the question would be like what is primary market and maybe secondary market and all. So you may expect all these types of questions on this part. But yeah, so what is primary market? The primary market deals with new securities. Primary market deals with new securities which are traded for the first time. This applies to money market, equity market, bond market, loan market, because every financial product. So you can see the framework, and that all frameworks will be designed in the primary market. Okay. Then the nature of financing, which is it provides additional funds to the issuing company directly. If the issuing company is looking for a fund for the business expansion, development and all, so they can approach, or maybe they can enter in the primary market and issue the securities to the investors and raise the fund. Then third difference, if you see organizational difference, which is the primary market is not rooted in any particular area and has no geographical existence. So it means you cannot see the marketplace for a primary market. There is no market like NSE, BSE, London Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, and there are many more. And even in India, NSE, BSE, National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, Ahmedabad Stock Exchange and all. So there is no such a market, fixed marketplace for a primary market securities or primary market. But what about secondary market? The secondary market deals with the old securities, or I would say the securities which has been issued in the primary market. If you see, we all are aware about IPO. Even though if you are a fresher, you may expect question on IPO as well. IPO, it means initial public offering. Companies design or architect their events in the primary market. So that event we called initial public offering. Let's say private limited company, first time they want to enter in the listed zone, or they want to list their equities to raise the fund. So it means all the design will be happened in the primary market, and the rest listing will be happened in secondary market. So after that you can access the securities and trade the securities. So it means buy and sell the securities, right? So in short, after issuance of securities, all the securities will be traded in the secondary marketplace, which is NSE, BSE, maybe London Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange. So you can see the stock marketplaces where the securities will be traded or will be trading. The nature of financing, where you can see the difference which is between primary market and secondary market, whereas the secondary market does not provide additional funds to the concerned company. There is indirect supply of capital. So you cannot. So the important here is, if you are or if you have your company, so you cannot raise the capital from the secondary market. This is a very important. So you can raise the capital from the primary market, but that the securities will be traded in secondary market. So basically the secondary market will provide trading system support, which the investors, they can buy and sell the securities in between them, right? So you cannot raise the fresh capital from the secondary market. Organizational difference is the third difference. If you see, the stock exchanges have a physical existence. So it means you can see the BSE office in the image as well, right? This is a BSE office. So you can see the existence and are located in a particular geographical area, so that the office will be located or the market will be located in a specific city or location. So you can say this is the first question, where even though we have covered the IPO and the other NSE, BSE, the marketplace, and also where you may expect question. Okay, so this is applies to this question. Well, you may expect, who can expect this question? Senior analyst and senior analyst. Okay, analyst and senior analyst. So prepare it, practice it before apply for interview. Right, rehearsal is a very important. If you don't practice, then you won't be able to answer this such a type of question. So I would say write it down, practice, and then after, even though practice when in an interview would help you to answer the questions. So yeah, I'll take you to the next question, which is brief on, you may expect like brief on settlement cycle, maybe trading hours, or apart from that, what is trade life cycle. The similar question you may expect, which is trade life cycle, right? What is T+2, how the trade life cycle work, what is TLM, transaction life cycle management. So you may expect all such a types of questions for this particular settlement cycle. But yeah, so we have a answer already. We have drafted this. So equity spot market follows the rule which is T+2, which is rolling settlement. But now NSE also amended, that is, so few stocks or few reputed stocks which they follow the T+1 settlement cycle as well. But for rest, so still T+1. And for rest we have a T+2, which is a rolling settlement. Okay, so every this means that any trade taking place on a Monday, right, get settled by Wednesday. So this will be settled by on or before the Wednesday. So this settlement we call T+2 or rolling settlement, T+2 rolling settlement. Stock exchanges takes place between 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and for every stock exchange they have their trading time as well, because most of the financial analysts, they join the MNC, and that's what we most of the analysts, they deal with the NSE, maybe a London Stock Exchange, Nikkei, S&P Global, and there are many more. Okay, so another point, the delivery of shares must be made in a dematerialized form, and each exchange has its own clearing house which assumes all settlement risk by serving as a central counterparty. This is a very important one. You may expect questions on depository or dematerialization. Dematerialization, it means physical form of security. Physical form of security will be converted into electronic form. Electronic form, right? So it means the companies will deposit, let's say a company will deposit the stock certificate with that is CDSL, or maybe, right, and NSDL will convert the stock, this physical certificate, physical stock, into electronic form, and that electronic form will be listed on a stock exchange where the counterparties can buy and sell the securities very easily, right? But yeah, in the past we had a same system, which is physical certificates that we supposed to transfer to the one from one counterpart to another counterpart. That was the process in place. But now the NSDL or CDSL, they are taking care of, and they're converting the securities into electronic form, and that's what we all are accessing the securities in a digital form very quickly. Okay, so you may expect question on NSDL, CDSL, And even though, what is a dematerialization? Dematerialization, it means to convert the physical securities into electronic form. So that process we call a dematerialization. Simple. Okay, so I'll take you ahead to the next question. So what do you know about American depository receipt? So you may expect question on what is ADR. ADR, it means American. So sometime you may expect question on that is like, what is ADR, but here in that case you just need to answer in this way, like American ADR, it means American depository receipt. But if someone asks what do you know about ADR, so in that case you need to highlight the full form of ADR, as well as, so you should highlight the below points. An American depository receipt is a negotiable security that represents securities of a non-US company that trades in the US financial market. This is a very important one, okay? Because as simple as that, in my previous video already I have discussed about ADR. ADR, it means, see guys, if there are investors from US market, right, they cannot directly invest in Indian market, correct? So they cannot invest in directly in Indian market. Let's say if you take the example of Wipro company want to even raise the funds from the US side to do something in US, but apart from that, even though Wipro company cannot directly invite US investor to invest in their stock in Indian market due to tax compliance, due to regulations, due to cross border transactions, due to other regulatory obligations. So we cannot directly invite US investors to means come to India and invest in Indian stocks. No. So what the other option that we have? So Wipro company can approach to NSDL to deposit the shares with NSDL, right? Then NSDL will seek for any assistance from any US firm, could be custodian from a US market. Let's say Citibank in this example. So NSDL and Citibank as a custodian, they will sign the contract. So contract will be for like, so NSDL will assure to the Citibank or custodian, so I have a securities of Wipro with the value of this and this. Let's say per security price is 77 in INR. So NSDL will sign the contract with custodian Citibank, and Citibank will ensure that the securities are with NSDL, and after that the Citibank will issue the ADR, American depository receipt, in the US market, and the value of ADR will be the price which is equivalent to the INR. So around, let's say the 77 rupees is equal to $1. If we assume in this way, then the one ADR price will be around $1. And this ADR, US investors, they can directly purchase it from NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. So this framework and GDR basically for outside the US. You can see most of the investors, they do trade in GDR as well. Okay, okay. Most of GDRs are regardless of the geographic market denominated in United States dollars, although some trades in euros or British sterling as well. So it means GDR will be traded in UR as well as in dollar as well. So depends. GDR can be particularly helpful those persons who are not resident of a country in which they want to invest, because through GDR those persons can invest in the shares of the company without any problem, and hence it is a great alternative. Simple. If you're not a resident of a country, still you can invest, or you can invest through GDR Global Depository Receipt. Price of GDR often close to values of related to shares. As I already mentioned, the price of GDRs or ADRs will work with the stock prices. If you see the change in stock price, then you can see the change in ADR or GDR as well. So it is a replica of stock, right? Then usually GDR is denominated in US dollars as well, but even you can see in a euros also, so which is not fixed. Okay, so I'll take you ahead. Even though GDR was also important, that's what I am. I have highlighted this, or we have brought up question on this part. So I would say prepare, and this question also you may expect in an interview of analyst as well as senior analyst position. The last question, which is, tell us something about the stock lending scheme, stock lending or borrowing. All right. So this is one of the important segment which most of the even the hedge funds or institutions that generate the alpha through the stock lending and stock borrowing pattern also. But yeah, borrowing, if you borrow the stock, so you cannot generate any income, but if you lend the securities, if you generate some rebate or fees or income on your securities, and that's what this lending is a very important one. Because if you're a part of corporate action team, you may expect question on what is stock lending scheme or pattern or how it's work and all, SBL. If you're looking for any fund accounting interview, you may expect question on what is stock lending part. If you are looking for any SBL process, stock lending and borrowing department or process, even though you may expect question on stock lending and borrowing pattern or part. So I would say do practice, try to understand this in a practical way, how it's work, and then answer it. Do practice, guys. Without practice, which is not anything means, which is not possible to answer it. You cannot mug up everything, but if you practice, so that every time you will get something, so you can add the values, and that's how you can develop an answer, effective answer I'm talking about, and then you can answer it, right? So practice is a key to get success. So do practice as much as you can. Okay, so yeah, we'll discuss about answer. In a stock lending, the legal title of a security is temporarily transferred from a lender to a borrower. See, the very important is, this one is a very important point, which is in a stock security is legal, not ownership. Okay, not ownership. Legal title of a security is temporarily transferred from lender to a borrower. If you are, let's say, A is the original holder of a security. A is holding Wipro securities. But now B is approaching A to borrow the securities for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 1 week, month, 2 months, depends on the counterparty requirement. XYZ thing, so on and so forth. If B is approaching A to borrow the securities for a particular time frame, then for a time being, A will transfer the securities to the B. So it means securities will be actually debited from the A's account, and it will be credited to the B's account. And as we know that the equity is the freely transferable document, so anyone can transfer equity from one to another. If you transfer the securities, that security will be in the accounts of the particular counterpart. it's similar to the loan. If you borrow the money from the bank, so it means bank will transfer that cash in your account, that cash after getting money in your account, right? The similar way, if you received security in your demat account, then you are the owner of that particular security, but you don't have a fully rights. You have a legal rights, legal title. This is an important one, because in a corporate action, once we process the corporate action, only original owner of the security is entitled to get the benefit of corporate action, not the legal owner. Okay. The next point is the lender retains all the benefits of ownership. This one is a very important one, right? The lender, so it means who is lending, who is offering securities, that owner will hold all the rights, and even though will receive all the benefits, including all the corporate action benefits, except voting rights, because since it is a freely transferable document, so if you have transferred that the security to the B, then the B will hold the voting rights. Then the borrower is entitled to utilize the securities. So you may expect question like, what is the benefit of borrower then? See guys, in a market, what happened if you short sell the securities for a time being, let's say at the time of market closing, your don't have a securities enough in their books of account to cover the positions, they actually lend the securities from others. And as I mentioned, nobody can offer the securities free of cost to anyone. Everyone is looking for a benefit. Everyone want to maximize their yield, maximize the return on the portfolio. Correct? So yeah, so you can see that in the next point. So which is security. Securities lending program is used by the lenders to maximize yields on their portfolio, and borrowers use the securities lending program to avoid settlement failures. Right? Securities lending provide income opportunity for security holders and creates liquidity to facilitate trading strategies for borrowers. It is particularly attractive for large institutional shareholders, as it is an easy way of fees and requires little involvement of time. Instead, parking securities or hold the securities in demat accounts. So why can't we offer that the securities to someone, so who can even though offer attractive income opportunity or maybe commission to you? But yeah guys, this is not the easy process. So what if after in a loan market we have seen, now let's say you are the bank and you have offered that the particular borrower got defaulted on payment or maybe declared as a bankrupt, then you cannot recover your amount. If the loan is collateral, in that case, yeah, definitely then you can sell out the asset and recover your money back. But even though that process takes cost, and even if the market, in a market like let's say if you are now looking for a that the selling of their security or auction of that particular asset, right? So you may expect or may not expect the actual value or the loan value which you are looking for to recover. So that is the risk, counterparty risk, default risk, payment risk you may expect in a SBL business. And the same logic or same risk will applies to the security lending business also. So where you may expect questions counterparty default risk always will be with the SBL part. I'm done with the 5 questions, and I would say thank you for watching this. We'll continue this series where you may expect lots of questions and answers. And yeah, if you follow this, if you practice the questions and all, then definitely you can crack the interview. But apart from that, if you're looking for any personal training, then we are offering personal one-to-one training or group training as well for our clients. The batch which you can join, and on a weekend batch that we are planning to announce, so where you can learn a lot of informative content. All right, and if you're a senior analyst or maybe team leader and more than that, then I would say you can look for a process-based trainings where we are actually offering, and already we have impacted more than 1,500 plus students and working professionals. They have learned, enjoyed, and they got pleased with the different top MNCs as well. If you're looking for a career guidance, interview preparation, then I would say just follow us or join the interview preparation program as well. Well, personal email experts, so you can directly get connect with the experts. Connects will offer the valuable advice to you. So when you spend time with the expert, grab the positions and all. Okay. Follow us on LinkedIn as well, so you can check my name, which is Sivraj B. Dukre, so where you can follow us on LinkedIn, and even though you can search the GMT Investment Banking Preparation GMT Academy on LinkedIn as well. So there also we are posting, so already we have posted so many blogs where still you can follow and check the latest notification for hiring and all. And the another point is you can visit the www.ibfundaccounting.com website blogs, and even though recently we have started to post question and answers as well, which will help you a lot. And if you want to get connect with us by any reason, just text us on 738760923 or write us an email on getmetrained@gmail.com. So we are there to support you. Thank you. I'll take a leave now. We'll see you soon in next session. Bye guys.